Okay, in getting started in this video, I need to make a little correction to something I said in the previous video. I said we'd be reading from John chapter 1. I guess it was too early in the morning and I wasn't fully awake or whatever, but I should have said Jonah chapter 1. Now, we did not read from Jonah chapter 1, but I did include some of the words that were spoken there to show what Jesus was talking about. Now, I want to share with you this morning that one of the reasons I do this is because, as I said in a previous video, that so many false teachings are driving people away from the church. Because some of the people today, common sense is used, and they know that certain things couldn't occur the way it was said, therefore they reject the whole thing. Now, I have a friend that's Orthodox Jew, and one time he was Messianic Jew. In fact, he was a rabbi in the Messianic temple. But over his years of serving in that capacity and studying the Bible, he found what he considered controversies that he could not accept because the traditions or the teachings that they were going by did not agree with what the Testament said, so therefore he rejected the whole thing and rejected the Messianic teachings, rejected the teachings of Christ, and converted back to Orthodox Jew. Now, he gave me a list of about 165 controversies that he found in the Bible. And I went through and read that list he gave me, and as I studied what he was talking about, I found that almost every one of them was because of false doctrines, where people were teaching stuff that didn't go along with what the Testament actually said. They were not controversies. It was just the situations was not explained in detail the way it should have been. And the individual did not take it upon himself to read and see what was going on. He just followed the traditions and the doctrines of the temple that he belonged to. Excuse me. Still have a cold working on me. But now, in getting started here, I want to go ahead and start reading. We'll go back to John chapter 19, and we'll start reading there, and we'll see some of the other stuff. Now, as I said, most of this is based upon the laws that God gave Moses contained in Leviticus. That's Leviticus chapter 23. But I'm not going to read those verses. At first I thought I would, and I thought, no, that's too time consuming. Now, what you can do is, when you're viewing this video, you can pause it at this point and go and read the complete chapter 23 of Leviticus. Don't just read it, but study it for what it's saying, because in it lays out the 6 or 7 Sabbaths that the Jews recognize, that are Sabbaths outside of the seventh-day Sabbath. And this is what we're finding talked about in John. So you really need to study that and understand it in order to see what's going on. But now let's look at John and see what he has to say there. Okay, John chapter 19, verse 31. Says, "The Jews therefore, because it was a preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for that Sabbath day was a high day, besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. Then came the soldiers and brake the legs of the first and one of the other which was crucified with them. But when they came to Jesus and saw that he was dead already, they brake not his legs. Now let's go back and read 31 again and catch what's been said here now. The Jews therefore, because it was a preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for that Sabbath day was a high day. Okay? It's not the seventh day Sabbath, it's a high feast day. And we'll see this more as we get into it here. But we need to really understand what's going on, and that's the reason I'm telling you, or asking you, to go back and read what's written in Leviticus there, and find out what God had established, and what the Jewish people were supposed to follow in their lives. And you will find that there is a special preparation day after the Passover, that even though it didn't call it a Sabbath in those verses, it is recognized as a Sabbath because of all the other events that are considered a Sabbath. And you will see this yourself when you go read it. So, this day that Christ was crucified was not a day before our regular seventh day Sabbath. It was the high feast day. It was the preparation for the week of eating certain things, doing certain things, and things of this nature. You'll understand that when you go back and read Leviticus there. And once you read that and see what they're talking about, then you'll know what John is talking about here. So I'm going to stop this video at this point to give you a chance to go back and study all of this and put it all together, so as we continue on, you will have a full understanding of what I'm talking about and see what I'm sharing with you. So God bless you. Good studying. Walk closer to God and learn of God.